All right, so the AEW rally in Jacksonville just happened. Let's go ahead and review this thing. It ended 5 minutes ago, so we're just going to go rapid fire, the important stuff you need to know, and what AEW is bringing to the table with their first real batch of announcements. Right out the gate, we got the announcement that we knew was happening, but SoCal Uncensored is part of All Elite Wrestling. We knew that. They were advertised for the rally, so no big shock there. But 3 good wrestlers, 3 names, 3 bodies, 3 good wrestlers who put on good matches and can do anything. They can wrestle single matches, they can wrestle triple tags, they can wrestle regular tags. These guys are great. Daniels, Kazarian, obviously have tons of experience, tons of track record on him, and Scorpio Sky, he can do the damn thing too. So good signings, good start. I like it. Cody comes out, says some pretty interesting things, says that they will pay talent well, and they're going to try and kind of change the economy of wrestling. This is very Kevin Nash-esque, how Nash changed the economy of wrestling in WCW with guaranteed contracts. No real telling of what this means. No idea. But paying talent well is important for big names, obviously. So that is strong, Cody. He also mentioned wins and losses will mean more than ever now. And I got a feeling that means because there will be less matches. So a question is kind of the episodic deal with AEW. Will it compete with Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis? This makes me think no. This makes me think that, matches are going to have big fight feels. And that's kind of a theme with kind of the Ring of Honors and the New Japans, that when you do watch them, the matches matter. Wins and losses matter. When you watch Young Bucks wrestle once a month or twice a month, they need to win. Or if you're watching someone wrestle and they're trying to win the championship, if they're getting 2 cracks at this thing a month, they better win. So that's what I have a feeling he means by that, and I may be totally wrong, but that's just my prediction. Now it's the Young Bucks' turn. Matt jumps on the microphone and says that he has friends in China. OEW is the promotion, and they have agreed to bring wrestlers to and from. So I have no clue about OEW or what these guys can do, but he said that he promises they do some moves and some high spots that we've never, ever seen before. So these guys are coming in to blow the roof off the place. So I don't know anything about them, but I'm excited to hear it. If the Young Bucks, who do incredible spots, if they're mesmerized by these guys, if they're impressed by these guys, then they're going to do some crazy stuff. And then we get the date for Double or Nothing, May 25th in Vegas. So now we kind of have a little snapshot here. So it's January now. So from January to May, from now until their first show, that is the time that they have to do everything they can do. So now we know it's not going to be a year, it's not going to be 2 months, it's not going to be the next week. We now have a flat date for when we can expect stuff to happen. So May 25th is the date, and Las Vegas is the place. Double or freaking nothing. The countdown begins. Brandy comes out, the chief Brandy officer came out, and she said that the women's division is going to be a thing. So big news, obviously, because again, we don't know about the roster, how deep it's going to be, but having a women's division lends me to believe it's going to be pretty damn deep. AEW can't be worried about a male roster if they're already announcing a women's division. The resources that you could put towards a male roster. For example, a lot of people believe that AEW is going to have 10 wrestlers, right? Just 10 wrestlers running around every week or every month doing the same stuff. That's not going to be the case if you also have a women's division, because you have to stock the women's division. So if you have enough resources to stock the women's division, then you damn sure have enough to stock the men's division. Brandy also says that the women will be paid the same as the men, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if she meant that way or if she meant that all women will be paid the same. So it was kind of weird how she worded it. I would be shocked if they were paid the same as the men with some of these names that the men are bringing up. But I think she meant that the women will be paid the same throughout the women's division. There won't be some huge hierarchy of some women making $1 million, some women making $20,000. So that's what I would guess she meant. She also announced that Dr. Britt Baker was the first woman, or I guess second if you count Brandy, the second woman wrestler announced. Joey Janela and Penelope Ford were up next. They were debuted. So Janela, crazy maniac. A lot of people love his stuff. I'm kind of indifferent on him, to be totally honest. Penelope Ford, though, 10 out of 10. MJF also came out and cut a scathing promo, just a lot of fat jokes. He was really trying to draw some heat. So MJF also part of this. Hangman Page, who we knew was part of AEW, who already signed his contract, comes on out. That brings out PAC, a.k.a. Neville. And blew my mind was that Neville / PAC decides, I'm going to roll out there in wrestling gear. Straight up. Tights, no shirt, armbands, knee pads, elbow pads. Let's do it. It was a power move of the century to be in a parking lot. Like I like to imagine that they're all backstage or wherever the talent is. They're just hanging out, eating catering. They're chilling. Everyone's in jeans and suits and shirts. You know, it ain't no big deal. And then in the corner over there is freaking Neville wearing a Speedo. I mean, guy's lubed up, ready to wrestle. I think he thought there was going to be a match. But anyway, so Hangman and PAC kind of set up a little rivalry there. And that's going to be a fun match. So adding Neville to the roster is another dimension, more depth, and another wrestler who didn't get his due in WWE and is going to be totally unhinged in AEW. So another fantastic addition. Wrapping up the end of the show, which lasted about 55 minutes, I think was the live part, the main meat and potatoes of this thing. Also, there was about, I think, 55 to 60,000 people watching live on YouTube when I tuned in. So pretty strong numbers for a show that was right at the end of like the workday for most people. So it's not like people were just sitting in the house watching. So that's a lot of people. 60K on YouTube live on their YouTube channel. I'm sure people were watching other ways through Twitter or whatever, but pretty strong stuff. But yeah, so the last announcement was that their second show is going to be held in Jacksonville. So that was awesome. You know, Jacksonville's going to be a huge part of this thing. It's going to be kind of how Atlanta was, I guess, for WCW at the beginning, where that's their base. So Jacksonville, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars owners, the Khans, are back in this whole thing, so it's pretty expected. So second show in Jacksonville, also some of the proceeds, a majority of the proceeds, according to Cody, will be going to gun violence. So benefit those affected by gun violence. Really nice thing to show from AEW. Again, these are guys who, you know, I've tried to stress the amount of financial backing they have. Their second show ever, and they're already giving out, you know, money. They're not stressing about backing anybody or finding money to sign people. They're good. So the show was supposed to be over, but they had one more announcement waiting. Chris Jericho is all in on All Elite Wrestling. Chris Jericho is part of this, and this, to me, is so big, because you have a guy now with 30-plus years of wrestling experience, wrestling the ECW, WCW, WWE, knows the ins and outs of the business. New Japan, has wrestled everywhere, has wrestled against everyone, been champion everywhere. This guy knows the WWE backstage. He knows the WCW backstage. He knows what to do. He knows what not to do. Not only is he just a major player as far as a wrestler, as far as a guy in the ring, not only is he that, but he's also a guy who can lend serious advice backstage, booking, all that stuff. He has seen the ups and the downs of both WWE and WCW. I'm sure, you know, he's a 50-time champion in WWE between tags and intercontinentals and Europeans and WWEs and world heavyweights. So I'm sure he's had Vince's ear pretty close. I'm sure him and Vince have been pretty damn close. You know, Chris Jericho has done it all. So Chris Jericho being all in on All Elite Wrestling is huge. Just his experience and his advice and all of that, you know, how to set up the pay-per-views, how to set up the shows, how to structure matches, all of that. He is enormous in this deal. For young wrestlers to come in and learn from people in the back to understand the producing side of it. Chris Jericho is in this thing, and he said it in the press conference. He said, I'm not here for the money. I've already got that. I'm not here for, you know, I'm not chasing anything. I'm just trying to change the freaking universe. I'm trying to change wrestling. And that's AEW's mantra. That's AEW's motto. AEW, it's a bunch of guys out there who are straight up trying to change wrestling. That's the deal. They want to offer the best wrestling product they possibly can at all times. And that is something that is huge. That's the whole pull. And people like Jericho, Neville, jumping in there on top of the Young Bucks, Cody, SoCal Uncensored, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega. On top of all that, this is right now, and we're only one day in, this is right now turning into a product that I think is pleasantly surprising. I think people thought that this rally would be pretty much SoCal Uncensored, maybe some details about the first show, maybe some lower Joey Janela type debuts, but they really went and did it with this rally. You know, having Jericho at the end, announcing all these wrestlers. I mean, they announced 6 debuts or something. They did a lot today, and I think that if you're all in on AEW like I am, then you have to be feeling great about the future. I mean, we're not even close to May. By the time May rolls around and Kenny Omega signs, we should be all good. All good with All Elite Wrestling. Great rally today. It's a great first step for them. I am thrilled with what I saw. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you enjoy the rally? Did you watch the rally? Was it what you expected? Was it less? Was it more? What do you want to see from now until May? Let me know, guys. Thank you again for watching.